The Vanishing Painting. In the center of the city, there was an old museum that many people forgot about. Most visitors preferred the new art gallery, with its bright lights and modern sculptures. The old museum looked quiet, dusty, and even a little strange. But it had one thing that no other place had: a painting that seemed alive. The painting showed a garden at night. There was a fountain in the middle, some tall trees, and a path that disappeared into the darkness. At first sight, it looked like a normal painting. But when people stared at it for more than a few seconds, they felt something unusual. The water in the fountain looked like it was moving. The trees looked as if they were breathing. The shadows seemed to grow longer when no one was watching. One autumn afternoon, Anna, a university student, visited the museum. She was working on a history project and needed to write about old buildings in the city. She walked through the empty rooms, taking notes when she reached the gallery where the strange painting was hanging. At first, Anna didn't pay attention. She wrote a few sentences about the room and looked at the dusty furniture. But then her eyes fell on the painting, and she stopped. Something pulled her closer. She stood in front of the picture and felt her body grow cold. The fountain in the painting looked almost real, as if water was falling drop by drop. Anna shook her head and laughed at herself. "I'm just tired," she thought. But she couldn't move away. She continued staring, and suddenly she noticed something shocking. The path in the painting, the one that disappeared into darkness, now had a small light at the end. It looked like a lantern, glowing faintly. She stepped back, blinking fast. When she looked again, the light was gone. The path was empty. Anna left the room quickly, trying to forget what she had seen. The next day, however, she returned. She told herself it was only curiosity. But deep inside, she wanted to see the light again. She stood in front of the painting for a long time. The fountain seemed to move. The shadows stretched, and once again, the small lantern appeared on the dark path. This time, the glow was stronger. Anna felt her heart beat faster. Without thinking, she reached out her hand and touched the surface of the painting. Her fingers did not meet cold canvas. Instead, she felt air. The painting was no longer solid. It was soft, like water. Before she could pull back, she was drawn inside. When Anna opened her eyes, she was no longer in the museum. She was standing on a stone path under tall trees. The fountain was in front of her, and she could hear the sound of water. It was the same garden from the painting, but now it was real. The air was cool, and the night sky above was full of stars. Anna felt both amazed and afraid. She touched the stones of the path, the leaves of the trees, even the edge of the fountain. Everything felt real. She walked toward the lantern at the end of the path. The light grew brighter as she approached. When she reached it, she saw that the lantern was hanging on an old wooden gate. Beyond the gate, there was only darkness. Anna hesitated. Should she open it? Before she could decide, the lantern flickered, and the gate opened by itself. A cold wind blew through, and she felt her body shiver. She took a deep breath and stepped inside. What she saw was a long corridor of paintings. Each painting was huge and showed different places: a snowy mountain, a busy market, a desert at sunset, a deep blue sea. The corridor seemed endless. Anna realized that the painting in the museum was a door to many other worlds. She walked slowly, looking at each picture. Some looked beautiful and safe. Others looked dark and frightening. One painting showed a stormy ocean with giant waves. Another showed a forest full of glowing eyes. Suddenly, Anna heard a sound behind her. She turned and saw the gate closing. The lantern went out, and the path behind disappeared. She was trapped. Panic filled her chest, but she forced herself to stay calm. There must be a way back, she thought. She decided to continue walking. The corridor was silent except for her footsteps. After what felt like hours, she saw another lantern far ahead. She hurried toward it. The lantern was hanging above another gate, smaller than the first. She pushed it open and stepped through. When she opened her eyes again, she was back in the museum. The dusty room looked the same, but something was different. The painting of the garden was gone. Only an empty frame remained on the wall. Anna's notebook was still in her hand. She looked at her watch. Only 10 minutes had passed since she entered the gallery, but for her it felt like hours. Confused and shaken, she left the museum. She never told anyone about her experience, but she couldn't forget it. Sometimes, when she walked past the museum at night, she thought she saw a faint light glowing inside, like the lantern in the painting. Anna learned something important that day. Curiosity could open doors to amazing places, but also to dangerous ones. And some mysteries were better left untouched. Still, she often wondered, where did the painting go? Was it waiting somewhere, ready to pull in the next person who dared to look too closely?